Good afternoon. My name is Ilja Riekki. I'm from UNESCO Bangkok, and I will be your moderator today on this session on skills development and needs of disadvantaged children and youth in rapidly evolving societies. And today we are in the breakout session number 3 in entrepreneurial and work-life skills. I'm here joined today with Anand and Tin and Sai to make your session enjoyable and also distill all the learnings from you and the speakers. Thank you for colleagues for support. So again, my name is Ilja Riekki. Why I'm here to moderate this entrepreneurial and work-life session is because the working group forced me to. No, I'm joking. I used to work at the Aalto University as head of innovation and partnerships in the entrepreneurship education unit for 3.5 years in Finland. So I know a thing or two about high growth entrepreneurship and research-based innovations. To follow that through a bit, what are these entrepreneurial skills or mindset or work-life skills before we move to the speakers? One definition for entrepreneurial mindset is that its ability and willingness to continuously search for opportunities to create sustainable social and economic value and courage to take action to pursue these opportunities under uncertainty. So oftentimes in entrepreneurial settings there's little certainty. Having an entrepreneurial mindset does not necessarily require that you would start your own company. Instead, it means learning and cultivating traits such as risk-taking, learning from failures, intrinsic motivation, grit, and tenacity. Some of the entrepreneurial competences listed in the Entrepreneurship Competence Framework, EntreComp, are spotting opportunities, vision, ethical and sustainable thinking, motivation and perseverance, financial and economical literacy, and mobilizing others, planning and management, coping with uncertainty, ambiguity, risk, and learning through experience. What are the work-life skills then? I think there's multiple frameworks, but one of the frameworks is ILO's global framework for 4 core skills for work life. One being social and emotional skills, communication, conflict resolution, etc. 2, cognitive and metacognitive skills, so foundational literacies, self-reflection, learning to learn, learning to unlearn as well. 3, basic digital skills. 4, basic skills for green jobs, environmental awareness and waste reduction. So with these two frameworks we have a bit more common ground on this session today. Today we will have 3 top experts from the field telling how entrepreneurial work-life skills are cultivated with out-of-school children and youth or in developing contexts, and how through entrepreneurial or work-life skills development needs of disadvantaged children and youth can be served, and other way around as well, that how those needs can turn into opportunities. We will start with the speaker from Assessment Rakstai Learning Center for Migrant Children in Mahachai, Ms. Pantapip Mongolsri. With her education in international economics and finance, Pantapip's involvement in the development field has been with the Thai Health Promotion Foundation, Change Fusion Institute, the Thai Rural Reconstruction Movement Foundation under the royal patronage. She has worked with the Office of SMEs Promotion under the Ministry of Industries as a policy and planning officer. She has also worked 10 years in the private sector in management roles where she led multiple teams to plan, implement, and monitor new strategic initiatives. She's now overseeing a strategic program development and impact for Rakstai Foundation. Ms. Pantapip, the floor is yours.
music to stop. Thank you for the introduction, Ilya. Very nice to meet you here. I'm very delighted to be able to share with you the work from Rakstai Foundation. But before we go in, I'm going to give a little bit of introduction to our own foundation and the areas of development that we cover. And then we're going to go into the topic for today, which is one of our projects supporting education for children, specifically for migrant children in Thailand. Okay. So Rakstai Foundation is actually part of an international NGO called CARE International. And our CARE International has been established for about 77 years now, since World War II, where we set up in order to support the victims of the Civil War, especially in Europe. Then CARE International established a country office in Thailand, first to help with the refugee victims of the Cambodian War. So we set up refugee centers around our border to support those victims. Now, in 1997, we've changed the names to Rakstai from CARE Thailand, which actually translates in English to CARE Thai. And we started focusing our approach on working with the communities and disadvantaged population in order to improve their capacity. And finally, in 2003, we became the first CARE member country from the developing side of the world to be self-sustaining. So we're an actual NGO registered in Thailand as Rakstai. So right now, CARE International is covering over 100 countries, and our projects are 1,300 projects undergoing worldwide, reaching about 90 million people. As for Rakstai vision, we want to see a civil society where people can achieve higher quality of life, equal rights, autonomy, and also sustainable development. And we do this by working very closely with the population, with the marginalized communities, in order to identify their development issues and also to implement effective solutions. So right now we have 16 offices, and we cover 5 major regions in Thailand, which is North, South, East, Northeast, and Central. And we have 256 employees. So now I go on to, after the introduction, I go on to the actual Migrant Children Learning Center that we have been doing for over 20 years now. So the actual goal of the Migrant Children Learning Center for us is we set it up ourselves to close the education gap for migrant children. And we specifically situated this at Samut Sakhon province because it's the area where a lot of migrant populations, specifically from Myanmar, are located to seek job opportunities there. Now, a lot of their parents, our income earners of the family, are working in labor or factory workers. And a lot of the children of these parents are migrant children who are often left unattended and lack the opportunity to pursue further education in order for them to seek jobs in Thailand. So our approach is to actually facilitate these migrant children to enter the Thai school system and also the non-formal educational system, or we call NFE, or as you can call it, vocational education, so that they get their certificates and are able to attain work permits to work in Thailand. But not only that, we focus on building holistic skill development for the students as well. So we teach them vocational skills and also life skills. And additionally, what we do is we provide support for them and their family to improve their life quality. So what we do is we actually provide healthcare support, food package, and in-kind assistance to the low-income families of these students as well. The skills developed are not only pertaining to the curriculum that we teach, but we also teach vocational skills, as I mentioned before, such as sewing and so forth, and recreational classes, like art and PE to increase their social skills. And also we are planning to do youth leadership training from one of our own foundation's curriculum to build the skills and the confidence in the kids to voice out their opinions and be able to negotiate. And also we do classes like basic law training to facilitate their integration into the Thai society. So another one of our strengths is that we have teachers who've been working with the center for over a decade now, and they've built long-lasting relationships with our students and our alumni. So these teachers are actually very dedicated people who we hire as RACS Thai staff, and they're able to speak both Thai and Burmese as well. So as I mentioned before, we set up this child learning center, but we're not working only in isolation. So basically, we have a lot of partners to help us in several areas. For example, teaching support from several different foundations like Sika Foundation, Migrant Children Learning Center in Wat Thep Nararat, Foundation for Rural Youth. And these friends of ours are working together with us to exchange teaching techniques, providing mobile library activities, storytelling activities, vocational skills training, and also helping to coordinate the education of migrant children from Myanmar. Not only that, we have government partners as well. Samut Sakhon Primary Education Service Area, which provides certifying documents for our migrant children to enter the Thai school system. We have the Samut Sakhon Non-Formal Educational Office, who oversees management of the NFE curriculum and also providing certificates for these students. We also work with healthcare side as well. So we work very closely with Samut Sakhon Hospital to provide health insurance for our students and also facilitate COVID vaccines and EPI vaccines. Now I'm going to give you a little bit of understanding on how we divide our classes. We have grade levels 1 to 5, and then we have non-formal education, which is a specific curriculum. So grade levels 1 to 5, we actually assess students upon their coming in by their language abilities, their mental capacity, and also the skills that they have according to specific subjects that are taught in Thai. So we develop them accordingly from grade 1 to grade 4 before we actually send them to the Thai school system. And our subjects, as you can see, there are core subjects that are taught according to the Thai curriculum, such as science, health education, social studies, but we also add health education, vocational education, basic law for the students, and also, more importantly, Thai language, Burmese, and English as well. I'm just going to give you a brief stat of the number of students that we have here. Right now we have about 202 students. We are gradually increasing in the number of students. We have been experiencing some dropouts and lower number of students, new students, due to the COVID pandemic during this time, which we did not send them to examination in 2021. But on the whole, the success for us in having the children graduating to the Thai school system and the non-formal education system is around 24%, which is a pretty which is pretty as positive for us, and we hope to continue that in the future. Again, we have to select some of the students who are ready to go into the system in order to take the examinations. And we also now have pretty much an equal share of male to female participants, students, but a little bit more male students at 60%. Now I'm going to show you a little bit the video, just to give you an idea of what our center looks like.
The RACS Thai Foundation established the center many years ago. It wants to be part of educational opportunities for children and serve as a safe space to protect them from becoming or victims or prone to risk. Protect them against being at risk. My name's Wan Chai, 18 years old, Muniti Rakthai at NFE 11 May. I am at NFE. I'm good. I have learned new things. I have learned about how to survive in society. I feel happy that I have learned new knowledge for myself. Law, traffic law, science, traffic science, that and illegal stuff. I have learned about this. Please tell me about your daily life activities. What do you do each day? I walk with my friends, my classmates to school. I clean school. I perform other duties. I take care of waste. I enroll in front of the national flag. I start a class at 9. I learn Thai, English, Myanmar, different subjects. My father starts working at 7. He sends out in front of the soil, and I take a bus to school. I do cleaning. After enroll, I start working science and Myanmar, and I learn. Involves experimentation, and I can learn that these plants, what substances they contain, like chlorophyll. And as for Myanmar, it is my language, and I like it. What is your favorite subject? English and Thai. English, it is a universal language, not only in Thailand. Thai, I like the Thai language. If we don't know Thai, we cannot work. I cannot work. What activities do you do at the center? As for the most favorite activities are related to agriculture. In Myanmar, when I was at home, I grew plants, growing vegetables, do gardening, chilies, lemongrass, to use it to cook, to prepare food for other students at the center. In the future, what would you like to do in the future? I would like to be a doctor because my mom is always sick. My family members are sickish, so I would like to be a doctor in the future. I would like to work in a helmet factory to earn a stable income, and it is not labor intensive.
I think we're out of time. I've actually prepared more material to discuss, this is just showing our graduates and their incomes versus the vocations that's allowed by migrant people. Usually our graduates who succeed and graduate from the NFE curriculum are able to earn higher income than their parents and their average migrant workers. So as you can see, a lot of migrant workers are limited by their language and their ability to read and write, and are able to do labor jobs and assistant, like service jobs in factories and service industries. Our graduates have also working in some factories. They are earning higher due to their ability to understand the language and also their ability to read and write and compute. So graduates who became assistant managers of the factories, inventory controller, data entry officer, and also working at the hospital with the doctors and the patients. I'm going to skip the COVID and talk about for our school. And I think if we are not too tight on time, may I show one more video on one of our alumni. Are we out of time? Yeah.เปิดได้ปะเปิดเลย1 นาที
ในการศึกษามันช่วยปอ
Education, how has it helped you income? I can get more income than others, and my knowledge is better than others. I learn how to read. I can read things, so I can do an easy job, and it is convenient for me. And as for my salary, I can be supervisor. I can get a better income, like a special. If I can help my supervisor, I can get bonus and extra income. And at the end, 5,000 baht is my bonus. Not just bonus, 5,000 baht. This is how people with education and with education, educated and not educated people, how different are they? For those who are illiterate and those who are literate are different. The illiterate people, uneducated people, they get less money, and people complain about them, supervisors complain about them because they don't know things mainly, and they are complained about and they are blamed because those people are illiterate. They are mostly they are laborers. But if we know, if we are illiterate, we know what the instructions are. We know when we get instruction, we know what to do. They are okay. They will not blame us. We are educated. Compare with your parents. Comparing with your parents. Comparing with our parents. They work very hard. They keep doing that. They have to bear that, they are blamed. Their supervisor blame them. They don't understand what their supervisors say. But we understand what supervisors say because we know, Thai and Myanmar, and you are literate. You know how to write and how to read.
Here, he's actually a graduate from our NFE curriculum, and he's able to earn higher income due to his abilities to use the computer and to speak both Thai and Burmese fluently. So he has become the key person in his factory to coordinate between foreign staff and Thai staff. And also he's the data entry officer for the factory as well. Okay, thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you so much. I think from this presentation we learned that still the basic literacies are very important for this target group. Let's discuss more about the interventions in different levels in the Q&A. Also, we would like to announce for the in-person participants, but also for the online participants, there is a Mentimeter opened for this breakout room where it's divided by 3 different levels: classroom level, school or district CLC level, and provincial or national level interventions. So how in these different levels by different professionals, in a classroom level teacher, in the school level principals or administrators, in the provincial, national level education leaders and policymakers, what kind of interventions could be done and sustained. And let's discuss these, raise questions from here as well after the presentations. I would hope that the presenters could keep their presentations in 10 minutes so we won't run out of time. Next presenter we will have Ms. Angelique Roux, a private sector advisor from USAID Opportunity Program, Education Development Center. She's a private sector advisor. She's been working in the field of education for 22 years, taught learners from various ages and nationalities, focusing on different content before moving to the field of international development. She has been with the Education Development Center since 2014, focusing on youth workforce development programs. In her current role, she leads private sector engagement work for Opportunity 2.0, which focuses on giving second chances to vulnerable out-of-school youth. Her team has deeply engaged into country's major business organizations, MSMEs, the Department of Trade and the Industry, and the Public Employment Service Office to provide entrepreneurship and employment opportunities to the youth. Angelique firmly believes that education, whether formal or informal, and its various forms and technologies, is at the core of propelling an individual and an entire nation upward towards human freedom. She has a Bachelor of Arts degree, as well as Master of Arts degree in English Studies from the University of the Philippines. Angelique, floor is yours.
Salamat, Ilya. In a regular conversation, I speak very fast, so all the more with a 10-minute timeline, so I'll try my best. Good afternoon, everyone. It is my honor to present USAID Opportunity 2.0, or O2. Oh, I'm supposed to be. Oh, wait a minute. Okay. So O2, a program which provides second chance opportunities for Filipino out-of-school youth. So as mentioned, I'm Angelique Rue. I'm the private sector advisor of the program, and I am with the organization Education Development Center. Technical difficulty? Yeah, okay. 10 minutes. It's actually different sharing it without the presentation. So, okay, there you go. All right, so I said I'm with Education Development Center, and we are a nonprofit organization that improves learning and teaching, health and human development, and economic opportunities for people of all ages worldwide. So EDC has been transforming lives for 64 years now, and managing around 250 projects across the globe annually. And EDC is the main implementer of Opportunity 2.0. Okay, so in the Philippines today, there are 4 million out-of-school youth, and there are various reasons why they are out of school. One of the reasons is early pregnancy. Another one is social economic reasons, so competing reasons. They need to work instead of study. They need to put food on the table. Interestingly enough, the youth do not see education and training as helpful because they cannot find jobs right after. So it's not interesting for them to enroll in either education or training. And of course, the perennial job and skills mismatch. And the reason for that is there is no sustained leadership and communication at local and national level to bridge the gap among three things: supply, demand, and the youth dreams. Okay. Oops, sorry, back. Okay, so how do we solve such a complex issue? USAID Opportunity 2.0 strengthens the systems that help vulnerable out-of-school youth to have better education, employment, and entrepreneurship or livelihood outcomes. So Opportunity 2.0 is a 5-year program that began at the height of the pandemic, March 2020. With exacerbated numbers of out-of-school youth, we actually truly came at the right time. So I was showing the results. So despite the challenges of the global health crisis, in strengthening the systems of national agencies that provide second chance education and workforce readiness to vulnerable youth, the following have been accomplished. So I won't go through all of the numbers, you can see it, but when we say 30,000 to 30,268 youth reach. It means they all underwent soft skills training. And this morning, we talked about soft skills training, life skills, and mentioned by Ilya, these are about personal development, communication, collaboration. This is what the private sector is saying. It's more difficult to hone in the youth than hard skills. And of course, we've transitioned youth to jobs, to businesses, to higher education or further education. And also we have engaged a lot of companies, private sectors, whether MSMEs or large companies. How do we do that? The questions that are asked to the panelists is always, how do you scale? How do you sustain? So for us, we actually are partnering with national agencies. So we start at the top. We had discussions with the Assistant Secretary of the Ministry of Education, or what we call DepEd in the Philippines, with the Technical Education Skills Development Authority, with the Department of Trade and Industry. So it was easier to cascade down to the classroom level, all of these interventions. So DepEd has a program called Alternative Learning System, and it provides opportunities for out-of-school youth to develop basic and functional literacy skills and access to equivalent pathways to complete basic education. TESDA, every country has a similar organization or agency, provides, of course, inclusive technical education. The Department of Trade and Industry has a program called Youth Entrepreneurship Program, and so it provides entrepreneurial training of various interventions to anybody who would like to set up a business. But I think the more innovative mechanism is what we call the Youth Development Alliance. So we piloted this in Education Development Center, and in O2 we are implementing it in 15 cities across the country. So essentially, the Youth Development Alliance, or YDA, acts as a critical driver of youth program development and implementation. So earlier on, again, a lot of the learning had to do with collaboration, multi-sectoral partnership. So that's exactly what the YDA is. At city level, the mayor chairs the YDA, and all the national line agencies gather together every month, essentially, or bi-monthly, and they harmonize their programs. So each national line agency has its own mandate, right? But they come together and they talk and they say, oh, okay, so you are doing something similar, why don't we partner? So they harmonize their programs, essentially. And at a city level, surprisingly, sometimes it's the first time that they sit together and actually talk. Let's say the Department of Science and Technology faces the Public Employment Service Office, and then they only realize that, oh, you're doing something similar, why don't we join forces, leverage on the, similar resources, etc. So it focuses on multi-sectoral partnership and collaboration, on youth empowerment. So there are youth leaders, their voices are heard in the alliance, and database collaborative planning and strategic decision making. So we implement the local labor market assessment, and the YDA also facilitates referral and information exchange, which I just explained earlier. Okay, so soft skills training or life skills is nothing new to Education Development Center or Opportunity 2.0. In fact, we've already integrated this into DepEd, ALS, and TESDA on a national scale. It was turned over to the government in 2018, and it's already part of the standard curriculum. So Work Ready Now is what we call it, but essentially it's a soft skills training curriculum. And then we have a very cute title, the Department of Trade and Industry Secretary loves this, Be Your Own Boss. So over 15 years of experience, we actually have implemented this in 29 countries across 27 projects. 18,000 youth have already started their businesses, and after 2 years, 70% of these businesses are actually still running. So mentioned earlier, DepEd, ALS, TESDA, and DTI are piloting these in the 15 sites across the country, with the vision, of course, of integrating that into their regular or standard curriculum. For the youth that would like to join the workforce through wage employment and not through business, we have the work-based learning. So this is also, I think this is a 10-year curriculum, 10-year-old curriculum, and essentially it helps the youth with work readiness. This one, okay, never mind that, too much information. Okay, and those that would like to go to further education or higher education have what we call the HERO, or the higher level education or training readiness orientation. This one, it's not 10 years or 15 years old. We just developed it in '02, but it actually helps the out-of-school youth, junior high school graduates decide if they want to go to senior high and pursue higher education. It just gives them a map of their choices, their options, their resources. Remember, we're dealing with out-of-school youth who actually don't have enough money. During the pandemic, we beefed up the TESDA's online program. So what we did was we helped train community facilitators, and we provided equipment, and so actually more youth were reached despite the lockdown. And part of the numbers that are being shown there are the ones that we transitioned to wage employment, self-employment, and to further ed and training. The next slide shows the story of Jesse. So he's our poster boy because he was the first youth that actually got employed in this program. And I think a separate link for the video is ready. Let's go, Jesse. Oh, we can't play the video, but that encapsulates what we do in the program. And I still have time. Yay, at least we're trying. Thank you.
School po ako nun. So,
This is Jessie Mapagdalita, an Opportunity 2.0 youth from Legazpi City.
tumigil po ako sa pag-aaral dahil nagkasakit po ako. High school po ako nun. So, since na mahiyain po ako, so di na ako bumalik sa pagklase, di na ako nagpatuloy. Tapos, naisipan ko siyang pag-aral ulit nung since 9 years. Baranasan kong may mga dapat pa akong matutunan sa buhay. So, naisipan kong mag-enroll sa arts. Dahil sa Opportunity 2.0, natutunan ko bilang arts learner ang mga soft skills na kailangan ngayon sa trabaho o negosyo. Duman ako sa work-based learning training ng Opportunity 2.0 kung saan na-expose ako sa actual na workplace tulad ng pag-interview sa potential employers at pagdaan sa job shadowing. Matapos nito, nag-work immersion ako sa Mansing Corporation. Dahil sa karanasan ko dito, nagkaroon ako ng confidence at inspirasyon na mag-apply sa kumpanya. Natanggap ako noong August 5 at ngayon 8 buwan na akong warehouse assistant.
Here in our company, we believe everyone deserves an opportunity. Yung task ni Jessie is product sorting and storage arrangement, and yung mga skills na natutunan niya is teamwork, customer communication, and warehouse management. Well, yung work ethic ni Jessie is very outstanding, and he's very humble, and he really gets the job done. He really shows great potential. We are very open to accept more youth for work immersion because we believe that ang kabataan ang future of all businesses.
Now, Jesse is paying it forward by helping out other youth like him under the Opportunity 2.0 program by teaching and coaching them in the workplace.
Ipapayo ko lang po na mag-enroll po sa ALTS O2. Mabibigyan ko kayo ng chance para ipagpatuloy inyong pag-aaral, mga pangarap nyo sa buhay. Huwag po mawala ng pag-asa. Ako si GC, Opportunity 2.0, youth mula sa Legazpi City, at handa na akong harapin ang kinabukasan ko.
More and more businesses are training and hiring upskilled out-of-school youth. Partner with us now and make an impact in your business and in the lives of Filipino youth.
Thank you, Angelique. And I would like to remind that there's still the Mentimeter is open, so please or think of your questions for the last part. For the third speaker, we have Ms. Pratin Lamcharun, Head of Science-Based Technological Phanga Technical College, and also a Thailand PMCA awardee. She's the Head of Marketing and Economics Department at Phanga Technical College, passion for teaching, and devotes her time and efforts to help local community since 1993. She believes no one shall be left behind. She recruits disadvantaged members of the community to enter vocational education for better chance to improve their quality of life. She's not only a teacher within a classroom, but also in her local community where she teaches the basic knowledge of accounting and how to promote their local products. She becomes a role model to many of her students who pay it forwards by helping their own community, such as hiring and supporting local people to earn their livings. She's an outstanding technical vocational education and training teacher whose capacities go beyond teaching vocational skills. She has been charged of Science-Based Technology College program, which applies project-based learning method. She also introduced entrepreneurship mindset for her students to go beyond ordinary science projects. They have opportunities to write their own business plans and transform these plans into real business. The floor is yours.
Afternoon, everybody. First of all, I would like to introduce myself. I myself am a teacher teaching at schools under OVEC office of Vocational Education Commission. Phang Technical College is in the south of Thailand. You know Phuket. Some of you don't know Phang Nga. Phang Nga is next to Phuket. It's very near to Phuket. In Phang Nga Technical College, it has 2 campuses. The first campus is in downtown. This is the second campus, but it is managed by the same management. Students in Phang, there are 1,680 students in the Phang Nga Technical College. For disadvantaged students, those with limited financial support, 200 of them suffer from this. Some of them receive scholarship from Equitable Education Fund. They are not only in Phang Nga. It is not limited to students in Phang Nga or in the south of Thailand. Some of them come from different regions across the country. Even some of them are in Chiang Rai. The earthquake at that time, they didn't have a house. They study here from central part Sa Kaeo in Phetchabun, northeastern part of Thailand. Many of them graduated. Some of them are studying. They come from different regions, almost all 1,000 provinces. These children, the students here come from almost all 1,000 provinces. Their families have a lot of issues, has a lot of problems. Some of them have family breakup. Some of them have no house. Some of them have no parents. Some of them are Myanmar. Many of them are Myanmar students. They rely on their parents. Their parents are migrant workers. They come to Phang Nga to do jobs, so we involve them in the college. Some of them, after tsunami, after experiencing tsunami, they were at different foundations. They are at foundations. The foundation send the students to the college. They are different from those who study in urban areas. They are in extension education schools. Their academic skills, their personal skills cannot be compared with students from the urban areas. Okay, they are living with us. We brought them here. We have to take care of them. On campus number 2, it is boarding school, boarding college. If not, they cannot study with us. We take care of them, take care of their life for 24 hours, 7 days a week, from the morning until they go to bed. When they are sick, we have to refer them to hospitals to receive treatment. Given their characteristics from families that are not ready, have no preparedness, so their behavior are different from that of general students. So the care from teachers, we have to provide special care for them compared with students in general. Many of them would like to study with us, but they have no opportunity, they have no chance to study with us. They want to study, but they don't have chance. Why? Because they have to seek money to support their family. If they work, they can earn more money. If they can support their family using that money. So for those who study with us, we need to find ways to allow them to get money. Apart from getting 600,000 for vocational education and 7,500 for higher education system, they don't have enough money for their education, but they have to spare the remaining money to support their family, their parents, their children, their brothers, sisters, grandparents, their relatives. So we try to think how to allow them to get extra money. What can we do to allow them to have savings, and they can spend the savings for their investment? So the instruction at the Phang Nga Technical College, apart from teaching them subjects, vocational subjects, general subjects, we focus on, entrepreneurship. There is a subject determined by the OVEC that for all students, they specify that all students in vocational education must learn about entrepreneurial skills. We have to cultivate entrepreneurial mindset or consciousness to allow them to be aware that after they graduate, after being employees or general employees, they can get extra money from doing their business, their own business. Some of them maybe can do 2 jobs at the same time. Okay, they can be an employee or entrepreneur, operator, or some of them would like to be just operator. There is a student from year 1 vocational education in the program 5 years from vocational and higher education. She asked, how about if I discontinue my education and I would like to work, I would like to do my business. She asked me what she thinks, this is what she thought about. So to cultivate entrepreneurial mindset, one thing that can allow them to have money to support their family in the future. Okay, this is our aim. The second is inspiration. Some of them, they have no idea about this, but we have to think about how to inspire them to allow them to become operators or entrepreneurs. In the picture, you can see 100 years ago, there was a school selling something, merchandise. I saw this in line. You know, the school taught students to sell something to get money to support their life, to allow them, to promote them to be entrepreneurs. I think this can allow them to stand on their feet and help their family apart from being employees. I always say to my students that if you are employees, you get salary, monthly salary, and salary people cannot strengthen their family and they cannot help their relatives or their siblings to support their education. At least they should have 2 jobs to allow them to do that. After cultivating the consciousness and inspiration, the second thing is to teach them how to do business and know how to develop business plans at the college. You know, science-based technology, this is our program. They would like them to become innovators, so they must do projects all semesters. The projects, we focus on the projects that can be scaled up commercially, and the projects focus on scaling up commercially. We ask them to develop business plans based on what you see still for entrepreneurs. This is to develop innovative entrepreneurs. They need to know pain points or issues of customers, of clients. They need to know social issues or social problems. We don't teach them to do things for their own selves alone. They must compensate for society. They must repay society. They need to know what social issues are and how they can resolve the issues. Then we need to teach them how to be good at observing things and asking questions. We have to ask, they need to have critical thinking, why this happened. Once they have questions, we teach them how to solve the issues, the problems. They need to develop ideas. The ideas, some of them think about big ideas, have big ideas, came up with big ideas. We ask them to have freedom to think. They can't have any ideas. The ideas, any ideas can respond to issues, problems they see in relation to social community issues, on client issues. If they get some ideas, they must be creative and different. Once they come up with an idea, they have to specify the viability or feasibility of the ideas. They have to identify the value of the idea in response to the issues of clients and community as in society. And they have to think about how much they can be realized. Once they get an idea which they think are okay, so we ask them to develop a prototype, to develop a prototype merchandise or prototype products. They have to do market testing, market sounding. They have to identify if the clients are satisfied with this or there are any issues that should be resolved. And we ask them to develop business models or business plan. Yes, it's just easy for vocational education. We ask them to develop a business model canvas, and after that they can develop a short version of business plan, and they can do products, develop products and sell them. In many businesses, they have money and they do make investment and they get money from the businesses. Some of them feel proud of making money while studying. So this can change their ideas, their thought thinking, and their attitudes. And apart from getting knowledge, getting a degree, another thing, they get jobs, occupations once they graduate. Okay, that is from me. Thank you in this round. Thank you.
Okay, now we're moving to the next phase of the breakout. We will get all the three speakers on the stage. Can I ask the technical to show the Mentimeter? A link to join and a QR code to join, and also what kind of inputs we already have. Next, we will be discussing on how in classroom level, as a teacher or facilitator or trainer, how in school or district level or CLC, as a principal or education leader, and then how in regional or provincial or national level, as an education leader or policymaker, what kind of interventions, what kind of choices, what kind of decisions, what kind of programs can be arranged or made for more equity in education. So how through entrepreneurial and work-life skills trainings or programs we can create more equity in education. If you don't want to ask a question, but you want to have your solution, please input it into the Mentimeter as well. We welcome all the good suggestions for this problem or this issue, and these answers to the question how do we make it happen will really benefit the conference outcomes and benefit the rapporteur's work if we can come up with 5 excellent suggestions what to do to create more equity through entrepreneurial work-life skills. All of our work is easier. Can we also see a link where participants can join? Or a QR code? I guess it's posted online, but okay, go menti.com and use the code 36693232. Okay, can I have the speakers on the floor? You can get the microphones from here, and please be seated so we can start the discussion. Okay, be mindful of time. We've got 30 minutes time to wrap up the discussion. So let's go level by level, speaker by speaker. If you already have ready answers for the questions, 3 or 5 suggestions, do this, do that, start from there. Please, now is your time to suggest. And then let's raise more questions from the audience over here in the room or from the online platform. Angelique, do you want to start?
Sure. So I mentioned earlier that we're doing a top-to-bottom approach as opposed to piloting small scale and then scaling up and thinking about sustainability. So because our partnership starts from the national level with the Assistant Secretary, with the Deputy Director General of TESDA, and Undersecretary of DTI, we have the top giving memos and saying, okay, let's do a training of trainers on a national scale, and that's with all the regions of the country, so 17 regions. And the interventions that we have already have embedded the methodology or pedagogy in how to implement the course. So for example, the soft skills training, it is very participatory. It is student-centered. I know that is said a lot, but it's really true. There's no lecture in the curriculum. And we train on a national scale, DepEd, ALS, TESDA, and DTI, teachers, trainers, facilitators on the material. So they have a standardized approach on how to deliver these courses. You can expect that every classroom, well, no, we work with out-of-school youth, so not classroom, but the community learning centers, that the teachers are implementing the curriculum in a standardized way.
Okay, so I guess we got an answer to all three questions over here. Start from the top and force it through the system. Easier said than done, but great that you are making it happen in the Philippines. If we start still from the classroom, is there a practice you would like to name?
So yeah, as mentioned, the intervention that we have trained the classroom teachers on have the content and the methodology. So whether it's the Be Your Own Boss curriculum or the soft skills curriculum or the work readiness, actually I don't think I did justice to our program in that 10 minutes because there's so many components. So we also have design thinking for entrepreneurship as a post-training support to be your own boss. And then we also have, after work readiness skills, we have work immersion, which leads to employment. So again, at the classroom level, what is happening is it's standardized in implementation, again, because built in the curriculum is the content and the methodology. And we do a training of trainers. We also, of course, monitor the implementation and give feedback. We have standardized forms as well. So, yeah.
Okay, so content, methods, and training for content and methods, so support for teachers. So don't expect things to happen without training them.
Yes.
Ms. Protein, are there something you want to share from classroom environment?
Classroom environment. Oh, I just have to say that our case is a little bit different from Angelique's because as you know, we're working with migrant populations subgroup, and they are more or less marginalized and overlooked pretty much by the government. So by working top down, it's a little bit difficult, which is one of the reasons why we have to set it up ourselves. But in terms of at the classroom level, what we need to look at for the migrant population is not only their age range, customizing the curriculum to their age range and their abilities, but the language skills also, but there are also other factors of them being the vulnerable group of population that has a tendency to be marginalized that we need to focus our attention on. And that is, you know, they usually have lack of confidence in integrating into the society. They feel that they are second-class citizens. So in addition to our curriculum that we want to lead them to enter to the Thai schools in order to seek better opportunities and living standards for them, we have to empower them to gain confidence and to understand that education will lead them to a better life. So we do this by several means. of course, we have our resources, which are teachers, and this is important for them to have close relationships with the students so that they can give counseling, not only on the educational side, but on the other aspects of life as well. And also, we plan to have classes that will empower them in terms of, youth leadership, leadership development. We do STEM with them as well, but also on other social and cultural life skills as well, which is, for example, we have been tracking the students who enter the Thai school system and also our alumni who are working with the Thai employers. And we found that, there are some instances of, assimilation into the Thai society which it involves, different cultures that are unfamiliar, and also some cases of maybe racism prevalent. So what we need to do is equip them with this knowledge, skills for negotiation and skills for building social skills, because these migrant students, they usually live among themselves in groups, and it's more difficult for them to assimilate into Thai society. So I would say at the classroom level, definitely the relationship that we have with the students, but not only the students, also with the family and with the community, is very important to gain their trust in order for them to be able to develop further.
So do I interpret correctly that nurture community-based relationships or relationships to local community as a teacher in order to attract participation for your programs, and then don't only train entrepreneurial skills but or work-life skills, but include a variety of societal skills into it. That's a challenge. Ms. Pratin, from your experience as someone who works in the classroom, what interventions you would add to this?
เดี๋ยวขอ PowerPoint สีเขียวที่พัฒนาศักยภาพผู้เรียนนะคะสีเขียวที่ขึ้นล่าสุด
Can you pull up the PowerPoint, the green PowerPoint? That's it, thank you. So in order for us to groom or incubate this youth to become the entrepreneur, the ordinary curriculum is not important, but we need to make sure that they get their hands on these practices so they can become the business owner. Not all children, not all youth has this capability ready in them. Therefore, what we need to look for is their readiness and the characteristic that is helping them to become entrepreneur, so that we can help make their dream come true. So therefore, for this entrepreneurship curriculum, we will ask the students to create a piece of innovation, and we will ask them to draft the business plan, and then we will discuss with them whether or not they will keen to bring their innovation and commercialize them. For those who are ready, we will give them this opportunity to be incubated in this vocational training, and therefore in all the incubation center, we have business advisors that are ready to provide them with all the fields that they need. For example, accounting, production, finance, and whatnot. So therefore, once they create a certain product or innovation, they could be placed in this incubation center, and they will receive the training how to draft the business plan, and then they will have the opportunity to do the site visit or excursion on the business related to their interest, and then we will give them the opportunity to go into several places, for example, Triple R Award or how we can bring the creativity into business and how they can commercialize their products. So this project, for this project, we will showcase notable products or ideas of the students, and then we will bring in experts to provide inputs and recommendation for these students to make adjustment of that existing business plan, and then we will do the selection of the business plan of this pool of students, and we will select 100 business plan, and we will provide funding to those selected business plan. So, and we also have the participation from the private sector, and we give a significant funding for this project, because we as the educator, we can only provide them with the knowledges. However, we will need to push the student to have exposure to many events or many area where they can have the opportunity to get fundings to get started in their businesses. So then we have initial fund to start their own business. So therefore, in every year we will select only 20 teams in the incubation center, and they will be provided with a certain amount of fund, so they can use it and try to build their business. So many successful business from this. There are many successful cases that come from Triple R Award program, and with this we help strengthen this incubation center as well. So then the center will receive more budget to improve or to improve the operation. So with the number of successful entrepreneurs from the incubation center, will prove ourselves that we can make this come to life.
Thank you. So over here we heard a story of design thinking or product development and business creation process. I think it's inspiring to hear that this is happening in the local level. And also we got out of the classroom immediately. When we asked for suggestions for classroom, we get to the mid-level, program level immediately with all the speakers. In order not to make the room fall asleep, is there someone in the room who would like to raise a question or suggest a solution for how through entrepreneurial work-life skills we can create more equity in society? We can run a mic for you if you have just raise your hand. Oh, I can't see, there's so many hands. There's so many hands. Which one to pick? At the back row.
Thank you. Hello. You mentioned, Miss Angelique, you mentioned that in the Philippines, the #1 reason for dropping out among women or girls is, getting married, pregnancy, right? So, given the work of young mom and, and everything. So I wonder, even among the other speakers, I wonder how you help them so that they can do their work as a mom, at the same time be involved in all this entrepreneurial training. Because, I can imagine how it is like for boys, but for pregnant or young moms, I think it's quite difficult.
Thank you for your question, Ma'am Ched. We're both from the Philippines, and she teaches at the university where I graduated from. Anyway, I mentioned earlier that we have the innovative mechanism called Youth Development Alliance. One of the members is the Population Commission. And the PopCom also has these programs for our young females and even males on reproductive system, etc. And we actually have trained some youth to be ambassadors of how to protect themselves and all that information. In the classroom training of the entrepreneurship program or the work readiness or even the soft skills from the very beginning, we have a lot of women with their babies. So our training is actually a children's party. It's not new to us. When we train in the classroom, they have their kids, and it's part of our the Opportunity 2.0 staff, and DepEd-ALS and TESDA and DTI know that these women, they just bring their children to the training. At least it's the first step that they are able to empower themselves through capacity building, that they can have not just gigs as jobs or gigs as businesses, but something more lasting. Because again of the YDA, we have partners like PESO, the Public Employment Service Office. And they do have programs where even the commute of the youth to the training centers can be supported. That's the beauty of the multi-sectoral collaboration that we've been talking about, and we really love this YDA. The mayors love this YDA because it's the agencies that help one another. So, for example, for the design thinking for entrepreneurship, leading away from your question, Ma'am Ched, those that win the pitch competition, if there are agencies that have grants or starter kits, they provide those. They just match what the business is of the youth. So we've had DTI provide sacks of rice to youth that said they wanted to put up a business on selling rice. So really the YDA is where the convergence of all the help and support and planning and implementation of programs for out-of-school youth takes place. So PopCom is a huge member of the YDA, and not just through training, but also through other types of support. We help our vulnerable, but we don't want to call them vulnerable in our program. We've already remarketed them to valuable. In fact, I was telling Ma'am Ched, sorry, just extending it one more, because I work with the private sector team of the program. We had to rebrand the youth and not call them vulnerable, because the private sector will say, oh, what a pity, okay, we'll get you for jobs. But because we pity you, no. Our Gen Z youth are so entrepreneurial. They are digital natives with natural grit. And if you present them that way to the private sector, they will grab the opportunity. But it's not just branding, it's the truth. They really have competencies that us in the older generation do not have. So I didn't answer your question only, I added, sorry.
Thank you. Then we got one more question, and I think after that we have time for one more question from the audience, and then we go through with the recommendations. Thank you.
สวัสดีค่ะนางสาวดารารัตน์รวมสุขค่ะก็
I from the Rakhtai Foundation in Chiang Mai province. I would like to what I am going to say is question and recommendation. And as for my recommendation, I would like to tell you that I worked on a project on promotion occupations of youth, vulnerable groups of youth who drop out from school. They would like to get money to support themselves and their family. Some of them dropped out. Some of them didn't have financial support for their education. A part of them, they would like to get money. When we promote their skills, making snack, business plan development, and the destination, I don't know if they will get money. And as for marketing from the government sector, what we have seen is for those who have the area, they know if they have channels through which they can get money. Some of them have their own channels. They know different people. They can get more money. Okay, this can respond to their business. But some of them whose skills were developed by us to allow them to have occupations. But some of them cannot scale up their business and they cannot get some money. They can maybe because of their area, the area where they put their products and how to do marketing channels, sales channels. There are some of them have issues in relation to this in the north of Thailand and in the areas, the government sector and different agencies, they have no areas for them in which they can scale up their business, their occupations, whereas they have skills already. Maybe it is waste. Maybe we want to help them with selling, with buying. But one thing I would like to add, we would like them to be good at planning and marketing to get money in a sustainable way.
Marketing and planning are important. Did you want to add something?
ค่ะอันนี้อยากจะแชร์นะคะอยากจะแชร์ค่ะว่า
To share something with you at our technical college. When we ask them to do business, they are young people, 8, 16, 17, 16 years old. Their capacity, their ability to identify market channels is difficult. But we guide them, because I am a teacher, we guide them to do things, starting with selling something to people near to them and to the wider society. The most important thing is to identify alliance network. It is very important to make the products available in the market. To identify alliance is very important. Okay, roti. Some of them made roti. First, they sell it at the college. They get financial support from the foundation to make investment. They got 20,000 baht and they make a push cart to sell roti, and they ask, it is possible to find a roti push cart cart. I talked with the Department of Welding. You know, there are around 300 innovation scholarship program and science-based program altogether. 300 of them, they get profit 100,000 baht they can earn each day. And during Thod Katin or donation, there are some people contacted them to sell their products at the house, at the areas where people give food to people for free. I asked them if they are okay. If they asked them if they are shy, if they sell their products at occasional markets. They said, I'm not shy. We are not shy because I can get money. It should be developed continuously. It doesn't mean that once they start, they will get successful. We need to start from a small thing first. Ice cream. They made ice cream. They use local fruits like jambada. It is like jackfruit. First, they sold it at the college. And after that, we identified alliance and partners, resorts and restaurants, shops, restaurants in the local area, in the community area. We try to encourage them to sell to a wider society. Do you know some provinces, hotels and hospitality establishments ask to buy ice cream from the children? We play a key role in guiding them and helping them with identifying marketing channels and online shopping. Online sale is an option. You know, some of them, there are 3 kinds of business. Okay, produce, for sale, and service, and buy and sell. Okay, for buying something and sell, they don't need to make a big investment. They can buy something for cheap prices and they sell it at higher prices.
To conclude the session, we would like to hear 3 recommendations for each level: classroom level, school level, and then provincial level. What would you like to happen? What's your dream? What's the optimal state? What kind of things would need to happen in these 3 different levels for creating more equity, in order to create more equity when it comes to work-life skills and entrepreneurial skills? And I would encourage the audience to fill in your suggestions to the Mentimeter. It's not that we leave it like this after this presentation. No, we'll be working tonight with my colleagues to condense learnings from that Menti and from this session to the conference outcomes. So if you have good ideas of interventions, please put them into this Menti, so we will have more material to go through. But please, let's start from the middle.
Okay. Short. I'll speak for the migrant minorities then. I think at the government level, definitely there has to be a recognition that these are part of our country, a part of the population, and has to have, they have to be able to focus that on that as well, because migrant population are a large part of the labor force in Thailand as well. So that needs to be recognized, and also, but it is difficult for Thailand, especially for the Thai government personally, because I think there has to be a payoff in somehow. So I think other organizations, public and private and NGOs, have to rally for this cause at the classroom level and district level and school level. Definitely, you have to recognize the uniqueness of this subpopulation to be able to understand that what they need is not only the formal education, but opportunity, counseling. So we have to involve everyone in the community, also employers, and be able to have a safe space for them and create a safe space for them to really express themselves and really feel that they're not second-class citizens. Yeah.
Okay, so recognition nationally, recognition locally, and taking needs into account. Angelique.
We're very lucky at Opportunity 2.0 that when we started the program, we were already speaking with the national institutions that provide second chance education and training to out-of-school youth. So we had the ear of the policymakers already at national level. We're very privileged that it happened that way. So there's so much to say really about the program, but I suppose if the approach cannot be that way, top to bottom, it's bottom up, then just have success stories that let's say my colleague here, that you could present at national level and just say, we piloted, it was successful, please take on and scale and sustain. So we're just really privileged that, again, the nature of the program is a system strengthening program to DepEd-ALS, TESDA, and the Department of Trade and Industry, and the cascade is just very easy that way.
So bring ready-made solutions for government, and they can't say no because it's helping their work. Yes. Yeah. And last but not least.
ค่ะการ to allow children or students to become entrepreneurs and to create sustainability, to ensure sustainability, we have to identify how to provide entrepreneurial curriculum from primary schools, how to cultivate the consciousness, entrepreneurship since they were from the time then they were very young. When I was very young, my family had a farm, a garden. They grow liang vegetable. In the south of Thailand, we call pak liang, native plant. In the southern of Thailand, my family collected the vegetable and sold it in the market. My father gave me money and I put it in the bank, my bank account. This encouraged me to become entrepreneur and do business. If we cultivate the entrepreneur mindsets in children, to sell things, and I think this can inspire them when they grow up. After they graduate, they might do jobs. Then they have the first job and second job. They might have the second job is a business, or they will just entrepreneurs. I would like all educational institutions, all levels, to cultivate entrepreneurship in children when they were very young. I think entrepreneurial skill is not only is useful for being entrepreneurs. But even they are at establishments, they will feel that they have ownership and they can pay attention. They devote themselves. They will feel that they are not only employees. Even they are employees, but if they have entrepreneurship mindset, it will be great. I would like them to be cultivated in this. Thank you.
Okay. So allow them to be entrepreneurial, allow them to practice entrepreneurship. So that's the message. Flexible learning programs and more flexibility to education. Maybe that might take into account pregnant or early young mothers, let's say so. Thank you so much for this session. As been said, I can't thank you enough for your inputs for the platform. If there are still some inputs during the break, you have an opportunity to put more inputs. We will be distilling these learnings from this session with the rapporteurs in next 15 minutes, and 15 past 5 we will be continuing upstairs in the main hall, where each of these sessions share their key takeaways. And based on this, and based on the inputs, and based on all this discussion, we'll be working on for the conference outcomes. And please come and talk with me or any of the speakers after the session if there's any questions or suggestions. Thank you so much.